Hey guys, it is PlazmaScream, and this week we are seeing Rebirth Jessica Cruz as our challenge character. And I'm making this video because I know a lot of people love Jessica Cruz, love using her on the full Green Lantern team. You know, they love using her like very strong Special 2 with the bleed and the snare and the DOT and all that from the gears and all that. She's a very popular character, probably one of the most popular characters and teams that you'll see in the community and online. But today we're going to talk about ways to use her that you might not know about. Faster ways to use her. You know, she's very good at what she does, but there might be ways you could even win faster than you already are with her when you're playing in multiplayer. Although for this character, she is good everywhere. You know, challenge mode, breakthrough, survivor, story, online. She's good at whatever you need her to do. But we're going to teach you some things, to make it even better for you. And here we go. Her passive. She has two parts. So she has her Special 2, and she has her Combo Ender. They get affected by her passive. So when you add Green Lantern teammates to her on her team, her Special 2 gets longer. And with one, she gets a snare. When she goes for like the little rocket attack, the opponent gets snared as if they got afflicted by Hawkgirl Prime's passive or Bounty Hunter Lobo Special 2. They can't tag out for a little bit. And then the second part is if you add another teammate, another Green Lantern teammate, and it's weird. Like, it doesn't count Red Lantern and it doesn't count Yellow Lantern, but it counts like Green Lantern Sinestro. So it has to be specifically a Green Lantern character. So that's like Bronze Green Lanterns, Regime Green Lantern, Green Lantern Sinestro, like I just said, John Stewart Green Lantern, Red Sun Green Lantern. All those characters count towards a passive, but not Red Lantern and not Yellow Lantern. Those guys do not count. And also, Sinestro characters besides the Green Lantern one, those don't count either. So that's who you would use if you wanted to make her Special 2 longer. And if you have 2 with her, she gets like the Saw Blade attack that can apply bleed. And also, if you have a DOT gear, you may already know this because she's very popular. A lot of people use her, and they love her. But, in case you don't, if you have a DOT gear, such as Ibistic, League of Assassins Adept Blade, or Lescorp Helmet, that Saw Blade will apply just an amazing amount of DOT, so much so that even if she's not augmented, it can do so much damage to somebody, even if she's like Elite 0. Now, all that gear DOT damage will do so much damage that it could just rot someone's health like all the way down to 0 very easily. It's crazy strong how many times DOT gets applied. And of course, she got her Combo Ender. When she goes for her Combo Ender, sometimes she can get Kilowog from the Green Lantern Corps to come in, and it will like stun the opponent, and then she can get some free hits on them. And her Combo Ender also is very powerful because it has many hits on it. You get the first 3, and then she you do the Combo Ender. She takes her hand, she puts it into like the Green Lantern, pulls it out, and it just rains down like these like knives or whatever from the sky, and just a whole bunch of hits and just crazy amount of damage from it. Which means she's really good for doing Phantom Zone objectives like combo enders and basic attacks and DOT and special use and crits, and she's just really good for Phantom Zone objectives, which is really nice. And also when she does like combo ender, she gains a whole bunch of power because, like I said, it's a whole lot of hits. So if she was like low power and she did that, she'd probably get like 1 bar, maybe even 2, depending on where she's at. So that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and look at her challenge here. You need a Sinestro character, funny enough. Flash and Superman. Flash and Sinestro are pretty easy to get, but Superman at least has to be a gold character because they're all gold Supermans. But you can get them from the store, being Regime or Prime or Man of Steel Superman. Though it is a little expensive, usually like 200k credits. So if you want her, you gotta get one of those. This is a very good character to get early on, but you gotta get a Superman character if you want to make that happen. So I would definitely make sure to get that before her challenge is over next week. And if you're early game, again, like I said, this is a very good character to have as a kind of a carry, But let's go ahead and talk about how you would use her as a carry. So I'm going to pull up a rather interesting team that you would not think about immediately when using Jessica Cruz. Everyone already knows how to use her with the Green Lantern teammates, but I'm going to show you how to use her without them. So you got Rebirth Jessica Cruz, and I'm going to use a decent Gear Shatterer. like in Search of Batman, just an example. And then Rebirth Wally West. We're not going to use a full Rebirth team because that's bad, but we will pair these two together, and I will show you why. So you see here, when you pair Rebirth characters with Rebirth Wally West, he gives them additional power generation, which is very nice, very helpful if you use one as a carry, like we have here, just Cruz. And also, he gets a benefit too, and it allows him to have a higher chance of dodging enemy specials, which is very nice for him because he is just Elite 0. So that's going to be very appreciated, keeping him alive. And he's already good at keeping himself alive because he's able to do the Flash Infinite combo. And then we're going to go over here. And you actually get enough power generation with just Cruz, so where you don't have to use something like this, or something like this, to get 2 bars of power right away with just a Cruz. You can use instead, what we're going to do today, Fourth of Godly Mace. You could also do Enchantress. You could do like Demon Blade or Demonic Cloak if you want to crit more. I've experimented a little bit with this. I don't know if I like it that much with her specifically, but I have been trying a little bit. But you could also do this as well if you want to make her a special 1 carry, because you might win matches a little bit faster if you have a crit augmented with special 1s. I know it's not as exciting, but you might win matches faster, giving it it would not take quite as long to do her special 1s as opposed to her very lengthy special 2 if your opponent is blocking special 2 a whole lot, because you might get a KO with the initial shots come out with her, like wrist cannons or whatever they are, you know. They might block that whip attack and the little baseball attack after that. So then you got to start another one, and then when you do this, like you have to go through the whole animation, like every single hit on it, and even more if you have the teammates for the Green Lantern too, because it makes it even longer, and that could just make the matches take forever, and that's, you might not like that. So this is an additional thing you can do instead. That will be faster for you. But of course, today we're going to do this. And even though she's not paired with Green Lantern teammates, her Special 2 is still very good, still very strong, because it's just decent damage, and his damage stats still very high. So she's still a good carry, even though you wouldn't pair her with the Green Lanterns like we are here. She's still very good even without them. And then we're going to use a very basic gear setup for gear shattering on Insurgency Batman. He can shatter up to 2 gears with Claw Horse and a fly DOT of Ibistic. So, pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead and show the gears one more time so you understand. Okay, there you go. And then we're going to get into a match. Actually, let's do hold on. Let's do 3 matches, and then let's kind of switch teams. Because I want to compare these, right? I want to do some matches with this team, just to show you how fast it is, and then I want to show you, how it would be if you paired them with Green Lanterns too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in here. Just to have a side-by-side comparison, so you can see how fast this version is of just Cruz team, and also how fast it is if you used John Stewart, Red Sun Green Lantern, Regime Green Lantern, whatever you guys like to use, You might hear my dog licking his feet in the background, so if you wonder what that noise is, that's what he's doing. He's cleaning himself. It's very loud. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. And in case you guys didn't know, you can chain her special 2 from her heavy combo. So that's pretty neat. Okay, this might KO here. It did, very nice. Alright, that was pretty good. So you notice how Joker blocked when he tagged in, right? If I had the full Green Lantern team, I would have had to use the entire special 2, have all those hits on it, and we would have been sitting there all day. That was pretty sensible. That was a pretty decent time, 10 seconds in-game time with this team. And I KO'd everybody with just 2 special 2s, and that was very nice. And she's not even max crit. She's got no augments on her at all. This is just plain basic Jessica Cruz. But we're going to go ahead and get to the second match. And this time I am not going to do the heavy combo, just to show you that she does get enough power. Boom, there you go. Okay, so this might be a little annoying. He might go for a super move here, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, we're good. We got very lucky. Can we get a KO here? Yes, okay, then we're gonna go Wally. And, oh, this is gonna be nice. Boom! Oh, that was satisfying. Alright, pretty good. I was kind of worried he's going for a super move there, but even if he did, we did so much AoE damage, it would have been fine. Okay, on to the next one. This is going good. Okay, let's go ahead and... What kind of annoying setup is this? Just nonsense all over the place. But there's no Astro Harness though, so this should be fine. That's the main thing she doesn't like, but we're very lucky they don't have any Astro Harnesses on any of these matches. She's winning pretty quickly. Okay, let's go ahead and get in there. Oh, see, that is a little bit of a problem sometimes, because I don't have quite a whole lot of power generation. Sometimes they can do that, but let's see if I can get some more power from our combo ender. Okay, so I'm actually going to one. And then we're going to go Wally here, and we're going to stall time. And this is why Wally is so good. You can just sit here and do this all day. Until now. Okay, very good. Block. I definitely blocked that. Okay, we got this. No worries. No worries, we got it. So it was a little annoying because didn't get quite enough power there to get unblocked for 2 against Harley, but we still won. Honestly, if I just did the heavy combo, it would have been good. And I might honestly just recommend you do that anyway, so that you can get that special 2 to land unblocked, because, you know, Harley was being a little annoying there. That can happen sometimes, though, anyway, even if you had power generation, so I want to mention that. That is kind of just like a freak accident type thing. I've had moments where I used carries, you know, even with, like, Ibistic on, and they still, like, blocked right away. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, that's how that team did, and I think it did pretty well, in my opinion. We're going to now show another team. Let's go ahead and put some Green Lanterns on there, so you can see how well these do. There's a couple of different ones you can do. So there's Regime Green Lantern, it's Red Sun, do John Stewart. You know, people like to use this combination right here. But, you know, this is good. Any combination you want to do is what they like to do. Oops, didn't mean to replace her. Let's go put her back on. Okay. I think we're going to do Regime Green Lantern, and then let's do Red Sun Green Lantern. Let's do Astro Harness. Not you. Let's go helmet. I don't know, something like this. And then he's not a good gear shatterer, but you might need it anyway. She always had Claw Horse on the team. So let's just do something like this. And then Enchantress. You know, it might be beneficial, you know. And then we could just use this. This is fine. We could do Stick too, but we already have enough power generation. So we'll just keep it like this. I think this is fine. Okay, let's go ahead and get into a match. Do not have the best gear shatter. We're here because Regime Green Lantern can only shatter 1 gear at a time, but Enchantress might be able to help with that if needed. But ideally, we just don't fight any Astros at all. Okay, so I'm actually going to wait just for a second because I don't want to hit him while he's got the blue phase up. Okay, it's going down. Go ahead. Okay, he didn't block, which is pretty beneficial. And this might just win right here. Okay, that's kind of nice. Okay, how fast was that compared to normal? A little slower. Because remember the last time it was 10 seconds. Although, that, to be fair, I did wait a little bit of time to put the blue phase down for Manhunter. So let's fight somebody else. Okay. I kind of want to see if he can knock out that red. If she can knock out that Red Lantern, Red Sun Green Lantern with a special 2. It's very strong. Be kind of cool to see if she can do that, especially with the additional lanterns here. Kind of want to see if she can pull that off. Ooh. Okay. Oh, she might do it. She might pull it off. Oh, that's cool. Okay, he is blocking, so we gotta do it another one. But we're good. Okay, and we won. So we had to use 2 of them, but she got the job done. How fast was that? Okay, 12 seconds. It's a little slower. Mind him, he's like a motion sensor, and then he hears outside, he barks out. So we get 12 seconds here, and he's showing the Wally West team. I was getting like 10 seconds, so definitely slower. But we are getting lucky with the fights because they're not having any like annoying gears like Astro Harness and such. Mainly because I'm using a pretty low team power setup here. I have not, ruined my Red Sun Green Lantern or Virginia Green Lantern promotions. I've kept JC as the main character of all the promotions. So I'm not really fighting anyone who's going to be like give me a troubling time. But that is how those teams work. That's how those teams go. You see the Green Lanterns, the full trio, and you also see how she works with Wally West too. And I want to mention, because I know people are going to think about this, while yes, it is good to use Wally West with her, I would not recommend using a full Green Arrow, a full Rebirth team. That's not good. And I'll explain why. So, Rebirth Green Arrow, if you didn't know, is actually a pretty good support, because if you give him the Master's Death card, when he tags in, and his little arrow comes down from the sky, and if you go for a special one right away with the Master's Death card, you can actually apply a gear effect with that arrow. So if you have something like this, you can actually potentially shatter up to 2 gears and apply 2 applications of DOT from the Ibis or whatever you have. You might have like this instead, and that's very nice. But because you have the Master's Death card, and if you want that to work, you need him to be over here. And then, because you have the Master's Death card on your support, as you should for this case, you have to use something like this. Well, now you already tag in, and you get 2 bars of power with just Cruz. So what is really the point of the extra power generation that Wally West gives, as you see here? It would be nice if you were not using Green Arrow with Death Card, but he has to have it in order to be a good support. Otherwise, he's just a meh okay support. But with Death Card, he's very good, as the whole the arrow coming down can apply a gear effect. But that necessitates him to use Master Death Card, and therefore you can't use it on just Cruz, so she has to use Race School Scimitar. So now it's kind of like pointless. Like, why even use Wally at all? It doesn't really help her anymore. And also, by this point, now you have to use Astro Harness on the first character, and you waste one of your shields because your tank is in the first slot with this Astro Barrier activating as soon as the fight starts. And so let's say you don't use Wally. Let's say you use somebody else. Okay, so there's only 4, but the 4th Rebirth character is Rebirth Raven, my favorite character. Again, the passive she has, it doesn't get to activate because she's in the first slot. And this is, again, the way Green Arrow has to be set up, is messing with the other Rebirth characters. You want Rebirth Raven to be in like the 3rd slot or 2nd or whatever, so she can tag in and steal power. She can't tag in if she's already tagged in, If you start in the match and she's fighting someone who has a bar of power or more, like say an Arkham Orange Batman, she can't go and steal that because she's already tagged in. And if you just tag her out and someone else, he's going to use that power, and now you lost your chance to steal it, But, you can't use him with like Race School Scimitar and Claw Horse, because that's not going to be quite as good. You're not going to shatter as many gears. It's just going to be worse. That's just literally worse. That's not an opinion. That's just facts. It's not going to be as good. So when you do a team like this, it's going to like kind of screw over your other characters because of how you have to gear Rebirth Green Arrow. You can use him on other teams, which is fine, but you don't want to use him with other Rebirth teammates. Wally plus Jessica Cruz is good, but you don't want to pair, other ones with her. And also, I want to mention the whole power generation thing for Rebirth Raven with Wally West. That would actually mess with her passive because she wants to have less power than the opponent when they tag in, so she can steal it. If she is gaining more power generation than they are, she's going to tag in with more power and she's not going to steal any. So Wally plus Raven is not going to be a good combo because of that. It's going to mess with her passive. But anyway, that is how I use Rebirth just Cruz in multiplayer. I do want to mention other things you can use with her. She is quite good in Survivor, and also for taking out bosses and such in things like Breakthrough, story mode, those very like crazy bosses with such high health, like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of health. The ones like in page 8 and page 9, stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the team back up. She's super good because if you pair her with those two characters that I mentioned, like the Green Lantern characters, and when she does the Saw Blade on her Special 2, it will actually apply a crazy amount of DOT on the Saw Blade. Like, I don't know, it's like how many it is? I think it's like 6 or 8. It's like a whole bunch. So, you could go into like bonus battle 8, and you could just easily beat like all these guys because the DOT on her Saw Blade from having the two Green Lanterns would just carry you. Even if she was not Elite 8 or Elite 10 or whatever you have her at, you could have her like Elite 0 and she could win because the DOT it does damage based on the opponent's health. That's how DOT works. So no matter how much health they have, and they have really high health in these fights, she would easily be able to deal with them. So let's see, just for example, we're going to just put out a team here. Let's say you had the gears for this, so I would do, like this maybe, if you want to stall time, Astro 4th World, and then I would do the Master's Death card, Tainted Totem, Ibistic. I want to mention that if you do not have Tainted Totem, this is still okay. You can just use, when you tag in, you can go for like a combo ender or heavy combo, try to get power that way to get 2 bars, because with Regime Green Lantern, the Master's Death cards, and other power generation gears like this, maybe you have like this, you can still manage to get 2 bars of power upon tag in and do it some basics because of the huge power generation and also death card giving you power. So that would still be okay. You could still win matches in story mode even though you don't have Tainted Totem, as good as it is. But if you want DOT, you need to have at least Ibistic. And then of course the last guy, gears don't matter that much in this guy, but let's just kind of see here. We already have Astro Harness, so maybe I would do like something like this. And you don't have to use Red Sun Green Lantern. You could use, John Stewart if you want to. This is just an example. You would still use the same gears though. Astro 4th World on somebody. And then just probably another tank gear setup in case you need to take a special. In case Jessica Cruz does not KO somebody and she needs to get out and you've already used the Astro Shield, the first one, on this guy. Or maybe he got KO'd. You still need to have someone to fall back on. So that's what I do for story mode. And this will be good for challenge mode too. And also I want to show you a way you could use her in Survivor, and this way you can actually use her and get pretty far with her, up to like fight 15, and win that match without even using Tainted Totem. So for this one, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to use a setup like this. You do not have to use Totem on her at all. It is going to be enough power. This plus Regime Green Lantern. And if you tag in and go for a full heavy combo, you get enough power for 2 bars. Just like that, without Tainted Totem, because of those gears and this guy right here, and this super crazy power. It is not 25, it is way more than that. It's like 50, and some people think it's even like, higher than that. It's way more power generation than it states. And you'll see this, you'll see that yourself when you play with them. But just these two is enough for her to get 2 bars of power when she tags in. And then I like to do kind of a weird setup for John Stewart. You don't have to have Totem on him, but this is what I do. You literally just do this to stall time when you have to tag him in. So I do Astro Harness to keep him safe, and Enchantress, so you get the protection from them being able to hit you with specials. The skull is kind of flying for a second, kind of denies them able to use specials for a little bit, so it gives you time to tag in your Jessica Cruz again. But then I use Tainted Totem mainly for like when it's available to use special 1 to stall time. And later on, when special 1 is disabled, you go for special 2s, and you'll get time to go for the basics to get special 2. It's not to do damage, but it's mainly just to stall time to go back into just Cruz here. If you don't have Totem, I would probably use something like Heart of Darkness, just to still get that power generation. Maybe you get 2 bars with the Astral Shield up and you're doing basics with him, because that would still be quite a lot of power with Regime Green Lantern. And speaking of him, we're going to go ahead and give him this gear combination right here. This is important because with 2 bars of power, you will be immune to specials while blocking, and you can use this with anybody. You can even swap these gears with Regime Green Lantern and John Stewart. So John Stewart has these, and Regime Green Lantern has the other ones. But you would use this because you're trying to get 2 bars. Ideally, you don't want to block with him and have to take that many specials. But if you have to, this will protect you, so that you don't get KO'd, especially in the later fights where they have so much damage in their specials. They can just one-shot you. But this, once you get 2 bars, and it's pretty easy too because he's got the extra power generation. This will allow you to take those and survive, or maybe even if you have 2 bars, take 0 damage from them, and then go back into Disc Cruz and wipe them out. And the cool thing about Disc Cruz here is, even without Totem, she's going to do quite a lot of damage, especially if she's max crit. With her special 2, mainly the damage is going to come from her DOT in the later fights, because that Saw Blade is going to apply so much DOT from Ibistic. And then Quake Engine here, and this is the cool part about Quake Engine, it will re-trigger that Ibistic DOT, allowing you to, especially if she's max crit, to KO people up to 2 times with basically the DOT from 1 special 2. I actually made a video a long time ago about using this team in Survivor. It's just Cruz versus Survivor, some kind of title like that. I made like last year, or the year before, I don't remember exactly. It's a long time ago. Before I got better at making videos. That was on my old account. So that was a pretty good way to beat Survivor. You would not have to use Hawkgirl Prime. You would not have to use characters like Flashpoint Batman or Flashpoint Aquaman, like people often do, or Luchador Bane. Just a Cruz and then 2 Green Lantern characters. You can get this guy from the store, very easy to get, and this guy's challenges sometime soon as well. So you will get both these, very soon. And like I said, she is very, very good for early game players. A lot of early game players, they love her. They swear by her up and down. It's like their favorite character in the game, favorite team in the game. A lot of people love this team and this setup. The 3 Green Lanterns. You see it all the time in multiplayer. But it's not just good multiplayer. It's good for all game modes. Story mode, Survivor, Breakthrough, Challenge mode, all that stuff. Especially when you fight like a boss character, like it's just 1v3 or 2v3, she can easily just destroy them because of the Master's Death cards and the Ibistic. And even if you don't have the Quake Engine, you can still use like Heart of Darkness. And you might hear my dog growling in the background, or even just this. You can get away with like basic gear setups. Even if you don't have Ibistic, because once you get those 2 bars, this will just rack up so much DOT, whatever DOT gears you have. And it will just easily dispatch any kind of difficult enemy you fight, provided it's not like a Black Knight Flash or an Arcanite Batman. I want to mention those because they are or can be immune to DOT. Trying to think, is there anything else I want to mention? I'm gonna go over everything. I talked about the passive, the challenge, the Wally West team, the Green Lantern team, Survivor, Storm. I think I talked about everything. We do have Suicide Squad, the Joker, unhinged this week. Not really that important of a character, but I will mention, if you do place pretty high, like top 1%, he's very expensive to sell, so you might get quite a lot of credits from selling the extra copies. So if you want like 300k in credits, go ahead and get top 1% for him. You get the 200th medal and a whole lot of credits and shards and all that, so that's pretty cool if you want to do that. But if you didn't want to play this season at all, I really would not blame you, because this is not a very important character, not a good character. He's got very few uses, and most of the time he's just outclassed by regular Suicide Squad Joker. But he can be used. I do like to use him with Arkham Orange Batman to make his Enchantress a little bit better, give him an additional skull, because he is still a Suicide Squad character. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video talking about a lot of you guys' favorite character, Jessica Cruz. I wanted to make a video because I know you guys enjoy her. I hope you all learned something today. I may have possibly told you a lot of things you already know, but you know, a lot of people are still coming into this game. You know, still early on, still early players. You know, people come into this community, you know, all the time. You know, wanting to learn how to get better, how to use people, and I like to make these little videos to teach them, put them on their way to get better at the game. It makes me happy to see them make, you know, progress. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate, you know, the support and all the views and love I get from you all. And thank you for coming. Talk to you soon.